more of a political bill than it is policy. It does give more police state powers going forward to deal with immigration, but still, this is mainly a political bill.
In Florida, that is Republican State Representative Rick Roth. He is engaged in damage control and hypocrisy. Roth and another Republican are advising migrants of the impact of an anti-immigration bill that GOP lawmakers recently passed and got signed into law by Florida Governor Rick DeSantis. The law, among other things, limits social services for undocumented immigrants, invalidates driver's licenses, and requires hospitals to ask for a patient's immigration status. All of this has sparked protests and caused thousands of immigrant workers to leave the state. That's hurting the Florida agriculture industry. And so Representative Roth, who voted for the bill, is telling migrants not to let the law scare them, even though that was the bill's purpose and effect.
I'm a farmer, and the farmers are mad as hell.
Yo soy un agricultor y los agricultores están bien bravos.
We are losing employees. They're already starting to move to Georgia and other states.
Estamos perdiendo empleados y se están mudando a otros estados como Georgia.
It's urgent that you talk to all your people and convince them that you have resources, state representatives, and other people that can explain the bill to you.
Republican State Representative Alina Garcia also spoke at this event. She joined Roth in insisting the anti-immigration bill is purely political, but she added the policies have no enforcement measures, no teeth, and that is an absolute lie. First of all, here is Roth admitting the impact of the bill.
I agree with everything that Representative Roth said. This is a bill basically to scare people from coming to the state of Florida, and I think that it's done its purpose. Este proyecto de ley es un proyecto para meterle miedo a las personas que no vengan al estado de la Florida, y yo creo que ha hecho su trabajo. This bill really doesn't have any teeth.
This bill really doesn't have any teeth, she said. And again, that is false. But here you have Republicans who are freaked out by the state boycotts and migrant worker exodus from the state, and these Florida Republicans are literally willing to say anything in English or Spanish to lie and spin. The fact of the matter is that this new anti-immigration bill allocates millions of dollars to help law enforcement carry out the new policies. Immigrant groups understand the intimidation and state-sanctioned harassment that Republicans just embraced. So immigrants are leaving, they're boycotting their jobs, and they're turning up the pressure on everybody in the state. If the Republican lawmakers had an ounce of integrity, they would stand behind the bill they voted for, be honest and transparent. Explain that you don't like undocumented immigrants, and that if the bill means thousands leave the state and infuriate farmers, so be it. But to try and pull the wool over the eyes of people and claim the bill is just a political game, well, that is beyond disgusting. Republicans are playing around with people's lives, and they should accept responsibility for the consequences instead of engaging in outright hypocrisy and dishonesty.
The FBI needs to search the University of Delaware archives, and they need to search Hunter Biden's home and business addresses.
And that was Texas Republican Senator Ted Cruz calling for an FBI investigation of Joe Biden's son over classified documents found at the president's Delaware home. The White House has been under fire ever since it disclosed that Biden attorneys found classified documents and official records on 4 separate occasions at the office of the Penn Biden Center in Washington and at Biden's home. A special counsel has already started investigating, but calls for the FBI to join in are pretty serious.
Just as an addendum to this, the news came out today, I'm sure you saw it, that former Vice President Mike Pence, a friend of both of ours, he's found some classified documents, I think at his home in Indiana, not in his office. What do you make of that?
Oh! Pence had classified documents lying around as well. Surely Ted Cruz is going to be consistent and demand the FBI investigate the Pence situation. Right?
Oh, look, the Mike Pence story, it's still early. Mike Pence, and as you noted, he is a good friend. He's a good man. He's explained where these came from. What his office has put out is that in packing up the vice presidential offices, that there were a couple of papers that were classified that were inadvertently put with non-classified materials. That was a mistake, but there's no reason to think it was anything but inadvertent.
Wait, what? No reason to think it was anything but inadvertent? Mike Pence is a good friend? It's still early? Huh? Senator, Just 30 seconds earlier, you were calling for an FBI investigation of Hunter Biden over Joe Biden's classified documents.
A very serious problem of criminal liability and major crimes.
But because Mike Pence is a friend and a Republican, we don't need the FBI for him? It is not unusual to see politicians flip-flop, engage in verbal gymnastics, and show their total hypocrisy, but to literally see it all happen in one breath is amazing. And again, this is Ted Cruz. And perhaps nothing about him should ever surprise anybody. Cruz has a unique ability to lie with a perfectly straight face. And he doesn't even twitch when he decides to contradict himself in a matter of seconds. That kind of skill is frightening. Anyway, President Biden donated his sealed Senate records to the University of Delaware in 2012. Ted Cruz has repeatedly called on the Justice Department to search those papers. However, the University of Delaware has said that only Biden and his designees have access to the papers until 2 years after Biden leaves public office. Nonetheless, the Justice Department has appointed a special prosecutor to look into the Biden matters. And for the record, a special counsel has FBI agents available to help. So any call for the FBI to investigate is redundant and being said only to grab attention. Ted Cruz, an attention grabber? Yeah, I hear ya. Tell us something we don't know. Anyway, the news just broke that former Vice President Pence had also mishandled sensitive classified materials. According to Pence's attorney, a small number of documents bearing classified markings were recently found at the Indiana home of Donald Trump's vice president. In both the Pence case and the Biden one, there is no indication they were aware of the presence of the records. And it appears the records were turned over within days of their discovery. The two developments stand in very stark contrast to how President Trump for months refused repeated requests from the National Archives to return classified material located at his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida. Roughly 300 classified documents have been recovered from Trump's property since he left office in January 2021. After the FBI raided Mar-a-Lago in August, Cruz called it a politically motivated fishing expedition. Naturally, one imagines Ted Cruz, after that statement, jumping on the next boat to go fishing. There is hypocrisy and a total lack of self-awareness and self-respect. And then there's Ted Cruz. And I'm not sure the U.S. Senate has ever seen a more embarrassing blowhard. I'm David Schuster. Thanks for joining us. Tell me your thoughts in the comment section.